All right, Flux has now broken below the origin line that I thought it could get a bounce from, right? But I had this labeled from my last video. Like, I think eventually it's coming here. So it just didn't get a bounce in a lower high before coming here. It's just going, it looks like it's going straight there without forming a lower high before getting there. That makes sense. So there's a couple ways. There are a couple main ways to uh, approach a resistance and go below it to hit the a support and break below it to hit the next support down. Option one is you have price come down and bounce off of it, but that bounce is a lower high than what previously happened. And then when you come back to touch it, then you fall through. Or as you approach it, you just fall through. And it did the second one. And, yeah, honestly, I think this is the target right there. Is that going to be a bear market low? No, I'm not saying that'll be its low forever, but that looks like its direction. And remember, in most altcoins right now, the main thing I'm surprised it's really starting to accelerate down. This is what's Bitcoin doing right now? No, it's still at 19. This is kind of surprising. So Flux versus Bitcoin chart, if this is versus the dollar, that means Flux versus BTC is really going down. Huh. I wonder why it's doing that. Oh, you know what? The Flux versus Bitcoin chart is actually more important than what I should have been covering this, folks. I think this is responsible for its acceleration. So you have people's bots trading this asset versus Bitcoin pairing in addition to its dollar pairing, and that's what's causing the dollar pairing to just go down. So partly my fault. I did not look at Flux versus Bitcoin. Oftentimes I don't look at that. But yeah, it's fallen off of a Bitcoin pairing. So this is Flux. Can you see the letters like where I'm pointing? FLUX. This is Flux versus Bitcoin. And in order to have anticipated the dollar like falling through that support, you would have had to have seen it on this chart. Without this chart, you wouldn't have been able to correctly guess it's going to bust through that. So yeah, Flux versus Bitcoin chart is very important right now. And if you're a Flux fan, you need to be watching it. Yeah, I missed it. So now, I guess you can sort of rely on the dollar pairing because people. So the which pairing moves price the most? It doesn't ebb and flow. Right now, it's obviously Flux versus BTC is moving the Flux versus US dollar chart, but it can switch roles, right? Almost like a handoff. Like I'm tired of running and taking charge. Mommy's taking a nap. You go deal with the kids, right? Like my life, and your turn. And so I think spot price will have its turn to take control of the overall price once this is hit, and it would most likely create some type of bounce. But right now, I guess Daddy's taking care of the kids and shit's burning. That's kind of what's happening right now. And so if that were to be the case, then I think that trying to time a Flux hitting versus BTC, it could actually time perfectly. Like it might hit support on both at the same time, but I would lean towards Flux's support being hit on the dollar pairing. I would rely on that more. But a lot of times it just really does align. Thanks. So if Bitcoin goes sideways, Flux would only go down 13% versus the dollar from current price. Boom. There you go. 13%. Yeah, that's the target. Yeah, so it's going to bounce on both of them. See how it says 13 right there? That's exactly right. Now, here's the thing, though. There is a heightened chance of Flux driving right through there and crashing through that if Bitcoin. So during Flux's move down on its so this is the dollar pairing, but on its move down on the Bitcoin pairing, if Bitcoin takes a leg down to recheck 17.5 while the Bitcoin pairing is correcting to that box, it greatly increases the chance that this is just, it's going to fly below this. But it also has the chance, right, to it could create it so that you get a bounce on the Bitcoin pair. So not this chart, but the Bitcoin pairing chart. And therefore, the dollar pairing does take control. And you get a, it just stops here as Bitcoin is still falling. And this just goes sideways. And that would make it versus Bitcoin go up. Like it does a V shape on the other one. That's possible too. But you have an increased chance. If Bitcoin starts going down during this move, whoo, it could way overshoot it. It could way overshoot it. And I want to I want to make very clear that thought, because there might be people watching my channel on Flux for a while, and I'm targeting 61, 62 cents. And if you're going all in on that shit and you're not aware that you could get smoked if Bitcoin heads down during this move, I mean, you're probably gonna be mad at me, right? So to some degree, even though I'm not giving you financial advice, I'm just telling you what I see in the charts. But I'm trying to protect you from having a reason to be mad at me. So be careful with that. Don't be silly and don't go all in and don't sell your house and buy Flux at 61 cents. Not financial advice, but please don't do silly, aggressive stuff at that level. Is it a good time to be interested in picking it up? Yeah, hell yeah. I personally probably will. But I'm not going to bet the house and I'm not going to do anything crazy on it, right? And I'm going to be staying aware the whole time of what Bitcoin price is doing. Because if right before it gets there, Bitcoin starts falling off a cliff, well, then I'm deleting my orders and I'm going to wait. I'm not going to buy it right there, right? So just keep an eye on Bitcoin once this gets close there, please. Please.